Hey, welcome or welcome back to my channel. How many times do you sit down, you're gonna paint, you're like, I'm gonna be creative today, right? And you think, okay, what am I gonna paint? And you're looking at basically like a blank page. That happens to me all the time. I tell my husband I'm gonna go paint, and he says, what are you gonna paint? And I say, I have no idea. So what I do, what I have found is that when I feel like that, I typically will do basic shapes, circles, squares, triangles, whatever. Today, I decided to do for you cute little hearts. And so we're going to do different colors. I don't know if that'll show up there, but yeah, so we're going to, and I'll show you where I got the inspiration for those hearts. We're going to do a whole page of them so you can follow along and super easy. If you can draw a line, you can pick up some paint, you got this. If you want to leave it at that, great. Have 5 minutes, be creative and put some paint on paper and call it a day. If you want to stay with me, I'm going to show you how to turn that cute little thing into a card. Alternatively, you can also maybe make a little, it could be a longer bookmark or maybe a gift tag, or even if Valentine's Day is coming up and you want to do Valentine's Day toppers for maybe your kids' school. Super easy project. You could even get the kids involved. Could not be easier. So I'm going to walk you through everything. Go ahead and grab whatever palette you have, your paints, grab a paintbrush, and let's get started. Hello. We're doing some Valentine inspired hearts today. So I've got all of my supplies here. First thing I want to talk about is this lovely color cube by Sarah Renee Clark. Absolutely love this thing. I don't expect people to run out and necessarily buy it. I just wanted to show you because I'm using it today for my inspiration. You can find inspiration from anywhere. You can find cookbooks, you can go online, all kinds of things. But I love this cube. What it is it's designed for creators, and there are cards in here with a bunch of different colors. And then on the back of each card has hex codes if you're doing digital things, and then different shades, tones of different colors. So absolutely love it. They have a photo on here and the colors that are shown in the photo. So super love that. Oh, so funny. My finger, this was an accident. My finger just opened up to this one. I hadn't seen this one, so I think it's fun. This is obviously great for Valentine's Day, but I had actually gone through, they're numbered, so that I think there's like different volumes. I have volume 1 and 2, but it's Sarah Renee Clark. Absolutely love the color cube, but wanted to show you that I also have, well, before I show you that, I pulled out a couple colors that I think are super fun. Love, obviously, you can tell by my nails that I am in a real aqua-y kind of turquoisey mint kind of vibe right now. And then I love these pink colors, so kind of pulled that out as a possibility. And then I'm going to talk about that one last. I have this pink with this kind of muted little sea kind of color there. These are traditional, pinks and purples. And then I pulled this one out just because I think it'd be fun to potentially do something that is non-traditional, with the peaches and sort of a real neutrally kind of vibe. So there's that. But I think for today, I'm going to do some colors that are around this, because this is kind of the jam that I'm feeling with my nails. And I am coming back to my trusted, tried and true Paul Reubens that I absolutely love this palette. I have my dirty water, my clean water, and I have my Micron. Not sure if I'll use this, but I love my line and wash, this is the line and this is the wash. So this just from the Dollar Tree, little mini wooden palette. This is what my brushes sit on. And today I am using this, I don't know how to pronounce this. Let me get my old lady spectacles on. Utrecht. Utrecht. Anyway, got these at Blick. I have a 6 and I have a 1, I think it is. So just a big and a small, or a medium and a small. It's actually not even big. So I may pull out a bigger version. I have like a whole set, so that. And then I just have my sketchbook here of, this is the one that I kind of keep coming to all the time, and it is my Grumbacher. You can see I've got January of this year, sort of starting. I just have a little plate, and I have some colors already on my palette. It's going to hurt my heart. I will probably potentially clear this off, or maybe I'll just add to it. We'll see. But that's where we are today. And then I have my little mama bear cup with my coffee. Go ahead and grab something to drink, get some water, get something, a warm beverage, a cool beverage, whatever you'd like, and let's get started. So I guess the first thing I need to do is wake up my little paints, my little paint friends. I always used to use a little continuous sprayer and just kind of spray, spray, spray. Get them woken up. And while those guys are sort of activating, I will decide, or I'm going to start mixing up my colors. So this is, but looking at this, I'm going to try to recreate some of these colors here. And whenever I do mixing and matching, I do try to, whenever I'm trying to match some colors, I just kind of start playing around with it. So I'm going to grab some of my kind of my purpley kind of color here. Obviously that's very different from that, so we're going to need a little help. It also seems like maybe a little bit more of the reddish. So I'm going to kind of come here, and I'm just going to play around on this palette. And I think what I'm going to do, since I have this one that I've kind of got globs on here, is I'm going to keep swatching till I get to a good place. So first of all, I'm going to see what this is straight out of there. Oh, that's actually not too far from that. And what this is this is a combination of that purpley kind of color. It's like a magenta, and then this red that's next to it. So I just encourage you to, I always have to have something in my hand, play around with the colors, you know, before you actually get started, and maybe swatch it out and see what you come up with. So, because I can see that if I go and grab just the purple, it's way too purple, right? So that's where I went in and grabbed a little bit more of this reddish color. And I have a pile of it here, but I just pulled straight from the pan. And I'm going to pull that into my magenta. And that's where I got this kind of in-between-ish color here. And it's still a little more purple than I'd like. So I'm going to rinse off my brush and get more of just a clean red. When I do that, see how it's getting to be a little more pink than purple here? So that's helpful. Okay. And so whatever palette you have, just pull, you know, just mix the colors that you have. And it doesn't matter if it's exactly, you know, matches what I have necessarily. Just get a palette that actually makes you happy. This one's going to be interesting, this little turquoisey color, because it says mint gray. I don't have anything that is like on its like just obvious, so I'm gonna have to play around. I'm gonna pull some of this one's like the closest I think to kind of starting, and I'm gonna drop it here. That's where my original thing. I may have to clean my palette. To me, to my eye, this looks like it has a little bit of like a greeny kind of color in there. So I don't have anything that's this Kelly green. The closest I have is this little color right here. So I'm going to drop some of that in there and see what we get. That is very green. So that may work closer to that. Yeah, that's actually not too far off of that. Again, we're not looking for like exact, but that is not going to work for this little minty color, but it may be a starting place. Because this has a little bit of a cool tone, I'm going to grab this right here and just see. Oh, see how cool that is? Actually, that warmed it up. Actually, let's see what we got. Let me clean a spot here. I'm wondering if this color right here, maybe that wasn't that one. Aha, okay, so it was this one. I'm wondering if that mixed with this guy right here might work. So I'm going to start with the green and mix in a little bit of the blue and see. Okay, so the way that that worked is I know that this green is a real cool green, right? And this blue is a little bit bright, but I think that's actually, you can see that there's a lot more green than blue in this color. So this is definitely the closer to that color right there. And if I want to darken it up, looks like I can grab maybe a little bit of that. Yeah. So it's kind of like what this is telling me is that it's more blue. And then we have that green. So I think if we just playing around with these, it looks like we have the green, a lot of green. So if you're thinking about like percentages, maybe 75% of that straight foresty kind of green. And then this is straight out of it. Oh, see, that's looking really close to that. And then if I want to have it more diluted, I just add some water. And then that gets us a little bit closer to this lighter color, if that makes sense. So I think that's the jam for these guys right here. And it's going to be a similar kind of thing for these pinks. I added the magenta just straight from the pan with a little bit of like pinky red mixed into it. That's going to be mostly like that. And then if we want it to be a lighter pink, we just add more water. And again, you can keep playing around with the tones till you get it to where, oops, that was way too much water. And this is really just a trial and error kind of thing. But I think I'm getting pretty close. And then for this green, we decided that it was going to be mostly this guy, which I think I'm going to put the straight out of the pan, I'm going to put it up here. And because it's a little bit brighter, I'm going to see if maybe, oh yeah, there we go. So what I did is I mixed this olivey green with this cool foresty green, which is that basically. Kind of made a puddle over here. Okay, so I think we have a good starting place. The next thing that I want to talk about is the shape. I mean, we're just basically doing hearts. So basically it's just going to be putting the brush down and doing a swoopy like that and another swoopy like that and just filling it in. And on your test page, you can, just test out a bunch of different hearts until you feel like you like it. And then the way that you get a lighter color is just wash off most of your paint and then come down and put it to the page. So that's the basic shape that we're doing. And so see how the more I put down, the lighter it's getting. That's how you get those light colors. So what I love about this Grumbacher sketchbook is that it's perforated, so you can just take the pages out I'm just going to put this to the side so I can see kind of my colors for inspiration. And now I'm just going to fill my page with a bunch of hearts. If I want some lighter hearts, I'm just going to clean off or just dip my brush in the water and come to my page. And that makes them, I'm going to go different. I'm going to have them kind of random all over the place. So I'm going to keep turning my page. What I like to do is work with one color. That way I don't waste as much pigment. One thing that I would like to encourage you is don't feel like you have to like make something. It's okay to just come to your sketchbook and just play. And that's what I'm really trying to do in this season is just fill my sketchbook with images that make me happy. Because if you have all this pressure to make something, you know, a portrait landscape, a portrait of, you know, a building or a cat or a something, whatever, fill in the blank. There's just a lot of times that perfectionist thing sort of gets in the way, and to make it feel like it has to like look like something. And I think that's where we really get into trouble sometimes. I like some. See right here, I love this about watercolor where it's transparent, where you can see through the different shapes. That's one of the beautiful things about watercolor. I'm just kind of turning my page and filling in, making some lighter, some darker. Some bigger, some smaller. So I think sometimes just coming to your sketchbook and just picking a shape, a circle, a heart, you know, something very easy and organic, um, can be very meditative. And it just allows you to feel how the watercolor plays on the page. Sketchbook is really designed to be a place where you sort of work out your skills, if you will, or, you know, how water actually moves. What happens when you put too much water? How does it dry? You know, so you're like right there, like, oh, I had a big puddle. What happens? You know, creativity is really about having a curiosity of like, what happens if I do this? Or what happens if I do that? So that's where I really encourage you guys to play with your supplies, see what they do. Kind of liking these. They remind me of those little hearts, those little sweetheart candies. And I literally have no rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of looking for empty spots. That one was really light. Kind of love that. Remember that watercolor does dry, they say 10% lighter. So keep that in mind, that whatever it looks like when you first lay it down is not necessarily what it's going to look like after it's dried. And that, again, only comes from experimenting and playing on the page. Super love how that, when it went on top of the other one, made a new color. So it kind of made like a purpley color, that blue and the pink. Well, I ended up only using this one number 8 today. You never know. I always have my little sizes ready, but you could come in, I suppose, and you could either do a pen over it, or if you wanted to be kind of a purist, and just come in. Oh, you know what? Let's do some of these open hearts. That'll be fun. Oh, I like that. And if you wanted to turn this into a card, send a little Valentine greeting to somebody, or if you wanted to sit and make a page of these and cut them into, little pieces, gosh, even this one page right here, if you got completely done and then you went either with scissors, it's hard to cut straight with scissors, or if you have like a paper cutter like this, you could easily turn this into your kids' Valentine's cards. And you could even do this with your little ones, right? And you could cut them all up and write a little, to and from on there. You could make little tags out of these if you're, say, doing like a little gift bags for your kids to hand out, like a cellophane bag full of chocolates or something. My daughter is 28 now, and when she was just a year and a half, I would sit her in her high chair actually and give her little dry, and by dry I mean no ink, like stamps, and she would just sit there and stamp because she saw, back then I used to do rubber stamping, and she liked that motion of me, stamping my cards, and she would say, Mama, stamp, stamp. And so I'd give her little stamps. So I think even if you got your little ones involved in making their Valentine's cards like this, super easy little shape. They could do the big shapes, and you could do the little, depending on how old they are. Oh, I'm really liking the little open ones. These are cute. I mean, what an easy little project, right? And I like some of them overlapping the other ones because it just feels almost like you opened up a jar of candies and they fell on the table. All right, so you could call this done, or we could come in with our trusty little pen and give it a little. The one thing you want to be careful of is, like, I can still see when I turn it to the side, I can see that some of these are still wet, so I'm going to be careful not to drag my hand so much over the ones that are wet. But the ones that I can see that are already dry, I can just kind of like give a little fun outline. What I love about the pen is that it gives it just a little bit of whimsy. It also, instead of being like a flat note of just kind of feeling like it's all one um, like layer, like it's all kind of one note, it just gives it a little bit of depth. And I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to kind of pick ones here and there. I'm intentionally not outlining it exactly. So if you can see, like here, I kind of went just around it. I just feel like that looks a little more fun and whimsical. And I am also visually looking for difference. Like you'll notice I did a green, a blue, a pink, and I'm also doing ones that are different angles. So now when I turn it, I'm looking for which one is sort of facing this direction. And I see this pink one is looking at me. And then I'm also looking for like empty spots. So I can see that I've done here, and I'm looking like which one could I do there. So I'm going to do this one, flip around. Now, maybe something over here. The other thing that I'm going to do is, in the same way that I have some that are open on the sides, I'm also going to do some hearts that are just with no color. And all of this variety just serves to make it a little more interesting. I'm also intentionally going on top of some of the other ones so that they don't look super distinct and separated. So that way that it feels a little more layered. And I like kind of telling you guys my thought process of what I'm looking for and why I make the choices that I make. Because hopefully that'll help you like think, oh, okay, how to make things sort of visually appealing. Right, let me stop because I was kind of going crazy. Okay, so I have a lot of these little ones that are outside. Trying to see, you may see on screen something that your eye is screaming, put one there. When you're doing yours, absolutely, that will happen where your eye will say, huh, something's missing right there. Could use a little something, something. But it's looking to me like it's pretty well balanced. I'm happy. I don't see anything that's terribly empty and naked. So again, layers, right? We could call this done, or I think I'm going to make little cards out of this. So the next step is I am going to actually cut these up and into little card fronts and make some cards out of this. But all right, if you want to be done, and we'll see you back here in a minute. So we have our little hearts all ready to go. I could just put this back into my sketchbook, but I'm choosing right now to actually cut these into little card fronts. So I've pulled out my paper cutter, and they have everywhere sells these. You could go to Target, Walmart, Amazon, etc. But I just find that paper cutters make life so much better when you're trying to cut straight lines. One of the things that I really appreciate about a paper cutter is that it has these little rulers also. So what I'm going to do is, this paper happens to be 12, let's see, 12 by, looks like 9 basically. If I was to look at the cards that I have, what cards do I have even? I have my little stack of Christmas cards left over. These are the cards that I had from Christmas. What I'm trying to work out is what would be the best way to break this up. So since it's 8.5, half of 8.5 is 4.25. So that makes a good math. All right, now I'm feeling like we're getting a good size for these. So now I could do 5.5. Yay! If I wanted to do this for, say, a kid's project with like a little cellophane bag or something like that, I would cut these in half. And that would be the perfect little size for, like, go to the dollar store, Walmart or something, and grab some cellophane bags and just put like a little topper. You could like fold it over this way and just be like, to so and so from so and so. Super, super easy little craft, right? And then now we have a cute little card front. I would probably, especially because this edge is doing a weird thing, just tear towards me and make a cute little edge. You can get these little adhesive guys. Man, the theme is consistent throughout. Um, so what I love about these is you just draw a line of adhesive. And then pop that on there. Man, it would be so cute if you had gold also, just for what it's worth. I have these gold colors here. This would be super cute on here. So, but there's a cute little card, you know, and you could put love you or something like that, write a sentiment, put something on the inside. But lots of options. Again, with these, I would probably, or you could even, so you could like make little tags out of these guys and be like to, and then from, and put your child's name. Give it a little hole punch and some cute ribbon. So there you go. Lots of options. All right, happy painting. Love to hear from you guys. Put in the comments what you end up doing with these, if you end up making some, or if you end up just doing like a sheet of hearts. I'd love to see that as well. All right, happy painting. Take care. Bye. So I hope you enjoyed that project. Join me next time for another project, and put in the comment down below if you either have some struggles or if there's something that you'd love to see, either a holiday that's coming up or a certain type of card or some kind of image, and I'll try and do it for you. All right, thanks so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have an awesome day. Bye.